Morning crew, slippery again this morning. How are we? Hope your week's been pretty good. Mine's been a bit of a shocker. Now, if you remember in the last video, if you're following it in sequence, I was talking about injuries and alternative ways to train while you're injured. I went and done something stupid. Got a few trails around and I had to work quite early, so I thought I'll go and get an early one in, take my little headlamp on. I was cruising around the track and wasn't paying attention, and over I went like a sack of potatoes, injuring my left, spraining my left ankle again. I can't believe I did this anyway. So it's black. I'm not running for a while. My 100 black oil looks like out the window, so not happy Jan, unfortunately. That's the way it goes. So I have to take a leaf out of my previous video and go and get swimming, and I think the bike will be okay. It's just the lateral movement that I can't do, so any type of running for a few weeks is out of the question. So bike will be okay in a week or so, and just have to spend some time floating around and doggy paddling in the pool. Joy. Right, I was going to talk this morning about gut. It's a big thing at the moment. Everyone's talking about the good old gut this, gut that. And a lot of people sort of go, what about it? You know, it's, sorry, I'm just wiping my nose. Bit sniffly again. It's a big subject again, but let's start with the racing part, or when you've got your stomach under load. Now, when you fill it up, obviously, you know, your food gets processed by little bacteria in there. They break it down for you, it gets absorbed in the bloodstream and does its role. All good under normal circumstances when you're just sleeping or walking around or doing your normal day-to-day job. Now, but when you're loading your body up with exercise, and we're talking here that usually the race, because training's a little bit different. Yes, you've got race pace efforts in that, but when you're actually fully loaded and you're actually in a race situation, you're under the pump, you know, for the entire race. You're not turning the dial back at all. So the gut struggles to process what you give it. Now, that's because you find that if you're swimming, you're pumping your arms. If you're riding around, you're pumping your legs. A lot of the blood will move away from the stomach and actually go to those areas that you're hammering or damaging. So it's thinking that, right, you're damaging me, I'm going to go and try and put some more resources to that to try and fix what you're damaging. So hence it leaves the stomach lower in blood flow. So therefore your digestion rate, or your food through to the bloodstream rate, slows down. Now this is why a lot of people end up with gastric issues while racing. They are putting down, you know, your standard food intake or under intake. Can go either way. And you're loading let's talk about overloading it. So you're overloading the stomach and you're asking to do a roll that's backing up all the time. So, you know, you push, and the stomach can only process so much because you've taken its main resource, or part of its main resource, away. And this is why, you know, you find, you know, with a gut ache, or you'd be running along and you get, you know, you've got to shoot the loo. And it can end a good race. So you just got to be careful with that. Now, the solution that there's a multitude of answers to that one. Now, in a nutshell, we'll keep it really, really simple. You know, if you're training on, let's say, gels, keeping it fluid. So, you know, some of these gels are actually quite gooey and sticky and all that. So I like to get a little tiny flask and maybe put 2 gels in it, and then the rest with water. And that breaks it up a little bit, and it's easy to get down. Not typically as messy, and it's something you can hang on to, or you put in your pocket or whatever you're training with, or racing with, I should say. Sorry, and that makes it a little easier to get down. Now those gels are made up of, you know, really simple sugars too. So we're talking maltodextrin, we're talking dextrose, we're talking glucose, we're talking fructose. Again, another big subject we can spend hours on. But they're simple sugars that the body can easily absorb, easily break down, because your body runs on glucose. Feeds the brain glucose, the story goes on. So having it in its most simplest form makes your gut not work as hard while you've got it under load. if that makes sense. So you can test this while training too. Like you can build up to race pace and hold race pace for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and you can start to experiment with this. You can start jamming down a ton of bananas, muesli bars, something solid, and then some people are okay, but you'll probably find quickly that you're starting to get a bit of an ache in your stomach where you're like, oh, that doesn't feel quite good. And then you can test yourself another day, and you can test just simple sugars like glucose or dextrose and see how you feel. And that all comes back to testing your body before you race. So I know it's a little bit different to the old injury subject, but I just thought I'd just get that out there. With the northern hemisphere starting to go into race mode now, us southerners are still in our hibernation mode. So it's a handy one to know, and I didn't come across this until quite late in my racing. I had a good coach, he's passed away now, but he was a big one about don't load your gut, and I just could never work out what he really meant. I had to sit down and say, what do you mean by don't load your gut? And he said, and explained it just as I've explained it to you. He said, simple sugars are easy to digest than solid foods. He said, yes, you still have to have your solid foods, but you pick them at a certain part of the race. And what he meant by that is, and this is the next part of it, is your body can process foods a lot easier I guess there's probably less load on the bike than they can with running, because of your heart rate difference. So your heart rate, like we said before, when you're measuring it, you'll measure your heart rate. I think mine was max 175. I think we worked that out, and my bike was 170. So your heart rate's not working as hard. So the other thing too is that you're not in an upright position like running. You're in a sort of a more of a 45 because you're on the aero bar. So again, it's not as hard for the body to get that down. So we tend to take more of the solid food through the bike, and then more of the liquid food through the run, and that seems to work for the majority of people. Yes, there are other exceptions where people can do, Sunday roast all the way through the race, and there are other people that just can't take anything at all. So it's just a matter of experimentation, working out what works for you, and just just keeping those in the back of your mind when you're testing yourself, making sure that your body can actually digest what you're giving it. It's not causing it aches in the stomach, and it's not sending you to the toilet really quickly after you take it. And that's probably the biggest one, I think, because less time on the road, more time to lose, not a good thing. So I'm going to go rest my sorry ankle, my sorry body. Oh, I can't believe I've done that. I started the run, and I'm like, right, just go easy here, slip. If you muck up, slip, and do an ankle, there goes Blackall, my 50k ultra. So I'm just, and the track wasn't really steep, and it wasn't uneven. It's a very well-worn track, and I don't know, just run along, and then felt a lot of pain, and then bit the dust, had my face planted into the dirt, and quickly realised what I'd done. I'm thinking, no, this can't be happening. And yeah, sure it was. So this was 2k's down the hill, so I'd hobble 2k's back up the hill. So it was very early in my run. The culprit was just a rock that was semi-submerged in the dirt that was loose, and I obviously just hit it, didn't see it with the light. Anyway, that's life. So I'm going to go get myself on a little bit more collagen. I have some tissue salts that I take that are they're called, I can't remember the brand name. They're just called elasticity. So what they do is they're a different pathway to what the collagen takes to actually heal your body, and these actually helps the elasticity of the actual the actual tendons and ligaments in my ankle. I've been also using arnica cream externally on it. Sorry, I just diverted away from the gut completely here, but that's alright, I'll just let you know. And I've also been taking another product called Regenix. Now Regenix is another tissue repairer, so a different pathway again than the collagen. So I like to attack at different pathways through the body, and that way you're covering all your bases, you're getting everything in the body. The body needs to repair faster, repair better, and hopefully I can be back on my feet running again in a few weeks. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my coffee. I'll talk to you guys in the next one, and hopefully I should be a little bit more happier. See you guys. Bye.